Okay, so this is part two of my NFL draft review. Continuing along, uh, the Houston Texans took J.J. Watt, defensive end from Wisconsin. I think they probably should have taken a cornerback there. Um, it really shocks me they didn't take Prince Mukamara with that pick. Um, really shocked me. I couldn't believe they didn't take him. The Texans were the league's worst defense, worst team against the pass last year, but they didn't take a cornerback with their first round pick. Prince Amukamara is right there, right there. Somehow he was a predicted top 5 pick. Then no one thought he'd get past the first 10. He slipped all the way past the first 10, past the first like 15. I don't know why the Texans didn't take him, but they took J.J. Watt instead. They were the 30th ranked defense last year. They need help pretty much everywhere. I guess they felt that there was something about Watt that they couldn't pass up on. I mean, he's a great athlete, but I think they probably should have taken Amukamara there. The next pick was the Minnesota Vikings, who took Christian Ponder. I think they took a quarterback here because of the uncertainty of the lockout right now. If the lockout wasn't on, they obviously, and there's still talk of the Vikings wanting to get Donovan McNabb, which probably would have been a better idea. But with the lockout on, they couldn't draft a quarterback. So they couldn't get a quarterback on a free agency, which is why there's probably so many quarterbacks taken early on. So they took Christian Ponder, who of the 4 quarterbacks in the first round, probably number 4, I guess. It's not that he's not a good quarterback. It's just that he has some things he needs to tune out, his fundamentals for sure. He's got Adrian Peterson there to run the ball, and I don't know. We'll see what happens because Tavares Jackson is definitely not your thoroughbred #1 starter. So Ponder could come in there and start from day one. He's got a great work ethic, so we'll have to see what happens. He played in a style of offense that shouldn't be too hard to adapt to in the NFL, so we'll have to see. I'm not going to say if he's going to fail or if he's going to be a bust at this point. We'll just have to see what happens. The Lions took Nick Fairley. Big steal there. Nick Fairley fell all the way down to Detroit. Phenomenal pick there for Detroit because you got Ndamukong Suh lining up beside Nick Fairley. Oh boy, that's going to be a tandem in the middle. He's fairly good at plugging it up the middle. Not as good of a pass rusher, but he's a big physical guy, and he's gonna make impact immediately. Kind of like Suh and Fairley in the middle, just going to be beasts in there. That's a great pick. Great pick for Detroit. One of the smarter picks of the first round. Because they need a solidification on the line, and to help Suh, that's a great pick. And then I noticed there's a trend. A lot of great defensive ends in this draft. Defensive ends, defensive tackles. I talked about it earlier. Lots taken in this first round. Another one, Robert Quinn, defensive end from North Carolina. Didn't play last year because he was suspended. There's questions about his character. No question, really. Great work ethic. He's a phenomenal worker. Great first step inside. But he uses the same move. He doesn't really have more than one move in his repertoire. So if he goes with a fake, he's pretty much done. But he's got a phenomenal burst off the line, and their defensive ends aren't exactly great. Over the past 3 seasons, they've combined for a total of 17 sacks, which isn't really good enough. Chris Long, who is supposed to be their future guy, hasn't done a great job. So we'll have to see. Quinn will probably be able to solidify that a little bit, at least a little bit there. So then Miami took Mike Pouncey, the brother of Marquise Pouncey from the Steelers. He's going to be a great. He's got that pedigree. His brother, rookie, did a phenomenal job. Mike Pouncey, just same work ethic, same kind of guy. I'm not going to say too much about the O-line because I don't really know too much about the offensive line. You don't watch him down the trenches, but he's a great hard worker. I have a feeling he's going to be immediate impact for this Miami offense, offensive line. Then the Redskins took Ryan Kerrigan from Purdue, another defensive end. I don't know. That's an interesting pick for Washington. If Christian Ponder was there, they probably would have taken him. I thought they might have still gone QB there with the whole uncertainty with Donovan McNabb. The Vikings still kind of want to get him. interesting pick taking Kerrigan there. We'll see. We'll have to see what happens. He might not be an instant impact. It might take him a few years to adjust to the Redskins defense, but we'll see. Patriots took Nate Soldier, offensive lineman from Colorado. You know, I was surprised that the Patriots took this pick. Usually they trade down. They had 2 picks in the first round. I thought they'd trade this one down, but they traded their other pick down. So this one they got Nate Soldier. Great pick. New England's first round picks usually turn out pretty well. Pretty much anyone New England drafts turns into a success. Great coaching staff there. New England's my team all the way. Go Patriots. You know, the history, Devin McCourty, first round pick last year. Tons of success with the first round picks. Even another offensive lineman, Sebastian Vollmer. You know, ignoring people like freaking Lawrence Maroney, who I fucking hate. Freaking bust right there. But anyway, Soldier will come in, probably almost immediately start because they're getting New England's old on the offensive line with Matt Light and uncertainty there, and Nick Kaiser and a lot of their offensive linemen getting a lot older. They need to get younger on the line. Smart, really safe, smart pick there. The Chargers took Corey Legit, D lineman from Illinois, another defensive lineman. You know, pretty. You know, another interior lineman, or he's just going to plug up that gap really well. San Diego is also really old on the line. They need to get younger, and that's a pick where they're gonna try and get younger in the middle. Plug in Legit wherever he can get to in his rookie year. He might be one of those quieter guys again, but you know, we'll see. And then the Giants got probably one of the biggest steals of the draft. They got Amukamara. Prince Amukamara, humongous steal right there. Huge. And this is a great pick because Amukamara is a physical corner. He will press coverage you at the line. And when the New York Giants won the Super Bowl and upset my team, the Patriots, which I'm still pissed about, what they did was they had they did press coverage from their DBs, and they had phenomenal front four that got pressure almost instantly. Osi Umenyiora, Michael Strahan. They got tremendous pressure from the D-line so that the receivers were jammed on the line. They couldn't get into their route, and by the time the QB was able to by the time they were out of the jam and going into their route, QB had no time in the pocket because the pressure was there from the defensive front. So that's a great pick because Mukamara is going to almost start immediately. Physical, can go toe-to-toe with almost anybody, and he's also great in the special teams area. So great steal there for the Giants. And then the Tampa Bay Bucks. Adrian Claiborne, defensive lineman. Another lineman. So many taken in this first round. Another guy you could just plug in there. Hard worker. Kansas City trade their pick to Cleveland. Who got Phil Taylor. Another pretty solid pick there. Another defensive lineman. Colts took Anthony Costanzo. The Colts also saying they're fairly old on the line. That's a solid pick from Boston College. I think he's from Boston College. It might have been from USC. Don't quote me on that. Totally can't remember. He might end up being a full-term starter. He's going to be a solid lineman in the league. Saints took Cameron Jordan, another lineman, defensive lineman. Another pretty solid pick from for the Saints, who had a great first round of the draft. Another guy you can just plug in there. He's going to do a great job against the run. He's going to do a phenomenal job pass rushing as well. So, good pick there. James Carpenters, who Seattle took, offensive lineman from Auburn. You know, interesting pick there. I'm not sure if I'm 100% on that one, but we'll have to see what happens. And then the Ravens took Jimmy Smith, cornerback from Colorado. Really solid, good solid pick there for the Ravens, who need help in the secondary. So that's a good pick for them. Kansas City took Jonathan Baldwin, receiver from Pitt. Physical guy. Might not start his first year. We'll see what happens. He's got he's got Dwayne. You got Dwayne Bowe there, so Baldwin might be a pretty good pick to go alongside. We'll see. And they've got a good run game too, so they might plug Baldwin in there at some place. He might end up being a guy like Mike Williams, acquired a guy who ends up being a big receiver. Um, so we'll have to see what happens. And the Patriots traded their next pick. They traded it to New Orleans, who got the 2009 Heisman Trophy winner, Mark Ingram. Great pick there because of the uncertainty in the backfield for New Orleans with Reggie Bush wanting a new contract. He's not going to get it. He might be out. Pierre Thomas injury issues. Mark Ingram is going to be all-purpose back. He's going to go start. He's going to play third downs a lot. He rugged guy. You can plug him in anywhere, and he may end up being one of the a full-time starter after 1 or 2 years. So great pick there. Another big steal. New York took Muhammad Wilkerson, defensive tackle. Not much to say about that. Don't know too much about him. So many defensive linemen taken, defensive tackles. Big guy. He fits the Rex Ryan style of defense. Cameron Hayward taken by the Steelers. Another defensive lineman. Pittsburgh needs help on that line as well. In the middle, and he's going to do a good job there because they're getting pretty old. And finally, Green Bay took the last pick, Derek Sherrod, offensive tackle. He's going to be able to protect Aaron Rodgers, who had some issues with protection on the line. So, it's a safe pick there at 32. And so that's my review of the first round of the NFL draft. Give me your comments, what you think of how the first round was in the draft overall. And I'll talk to you guys later.